Welcome back, everyone. This is my EX400. I'm sure you guys remember it. I've done a few videos on this bike. First one being a complete rebuild and partial restore on it. I still haven't ridden this yet, outside of just putting around in my yard, going out in the woods behind my house. I plan on taking this for some aggressive riding in the spring. I didn't get around to it. The weather changed on me too quick, but I'll make some videos of it when the weather gets better. So as you can see, it's still nice and clean. Painted the frame, cleaned up all the aluminum, all that stuff. I'll leave links in the description below for the video of me rebuilding this bike, the motor, and painting it and restoring it and what it looked like before and after. And also, I did a video on this bike replacing the rear axle and the carrier bearings. As you can see here, the axle's still brand new. Haven't had a chance to ride it yet. I'll leave a description for that. I will leave a link in the description for that video as well. Can't talk today, I need more coffee. She runs good, the whole 9 yards. Problem is I don't know if you can see this. You can see that right there. The bushings are gone on the A-arms, and this ball joint right here, I don't know if you can see that bouncing around. That ball joint's gone, and the steering linkage ball joints are gone too. So, don't mean to make you dizzy. I have purchased new bushing kit for the A-arms and steering linkage ball joints for the steering linkage arms, pitman arms, whatever you want to call them. And I also picked up these bushings here, as you can see. I got them from McMaster. And what I did was I measured out what the hole is in here, and those are pretty close. I might have to do some turning on them to get them to fit in there. And the center hole is, I think, 16 millimeter. And I ordered upper ball joints for, I forget what company it is, but they make aftermarket A-arms. And they're usually extended, plus 2 inch, plus 3 inch, or whatever. I don't really want to go that route on this. I just want to replace the ball joints. You can't buy new A-arms for these bikes anymore. All you can buy is used. I'm not buying used A-arms because, how long is the ball joint really going to last? I don't really want to spend $400 on A-arms to extend the width of the front end or anything. So what I'm going to do is, this will be in an upcoming video because I'm still waiting on those ball joints. I'm actually going to cut this off. I'm going to put the threaded ball joint in here. I'm going to use the bushings to make up the space in the hole so they won't be loose, and then I'm going to tighten them. And two things this will give me. This will give me adjustable camber on the front end, which it does not currently have. And it'll also make for quick change out of the ball joints when they wear in the future. So that is in a future video. This video here is just going to be replacing the bushings in the A-arms and replacing the ball joints in the steering arms. And I think I bought this stuff here on eBay. It was cheap, not a lot of money. This one here, however, was a little bit pricey. There's the part number if you guys are interested. This was a little bit pricey. I think I paid like 40 bucks for this. And these from McMaster, they were short money. I think they were under 10 bucks. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to set you up in the stand here. I'm going to take some of the stuff off the front end. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you taking the wheels off. I'm not going to show you taking the push bar off the front. I'm not going to show you taking the A-arm protectors off. But I'm going to get it down to the point where get it to the point where there's nothing in the way, and I can show you guys how to do the steering linkage and the upper and lower bushings on the control arm. So I'll do one side. I'm not going to do both sides, but I'll do one side. You guys will get the idea. I guess that's it. Let's get at it. All right, we got everything off, tires, guards, all that stuff. You can see there's not much in the way now, which is kind of how we want it. So what I'm going to do now is Let me grab the light real quick so you guys can see. So I'm going to take steering arm off now. I'm going to remove the cotter pins, take the bolts off, knock the ball joint out, and I'm going to do the same up here on this end here, as you can see. Cotter pin, nut, knock it out. They're pretty worn. I don't know if I can show you the play or not, but see if you can see it. You can see the play there. The other one's actually worse. So I'm going to replace those. The reason why I'm doing it is because when I ride this bike, even the small amount of ride I'm doing, the front end rattles like a bucket of bolts. And I want to fix all that. I want it nice and tight. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to work on this side right here. I'm going to do the upper and the lower A-arm bushings, and I'm going to change out the ball joints on the steering linkage. And I am going to do the ball joint on this side as well, but that's going to be in a future video. So I'm going to put you in the stand, and I'm going to get to work. All right, so as you can see, these are not supposed to move around that freely. I mean, I'm barely doing anything to move that. That's worn out, same as that one. They're supposed to be very tight. All right, let's remove the ball joints from the rod. All right, I'll go grab a new one. Here's a new one, comes with a new nut. I'm gonna go with the original nut. Looks a little heavy duty. So as you can see, I can't even move that. It's not even moving. See that? That's how you want it. I mean, I'm pushing as hard as I can on that. Now it's moving. See how tight that is? And this one here? Floppy biscuit. No good. Alright, so let's screw this one on. And I left the lock nut pretty much where it was. And I know the steering's going to need to be adjusted, but this will get me close, so it's not way off. I'm going to snug this up. Alright. Let's do the other side. course, these are opposite threads. This one off. Got another one. So here's the other new one, and you can see different part numbers. One's got a left-handed thread, and the other's got a right-handed thread. And that's so you can adjust the linkage arm when it's on there. And I'm going to bring it right up to the knot, and it should get me somewhere in the area that I want to be. The steering was a little off. The toe in, toe out was a little off. Alright, so that's maxed out right there. We don't want to max it out. We need some adjustment, so it seems kind of weird why that would be maxed out. Gotta put a little grease in there or something. She's tight. Put some anti-seize on here just to be safe. Should have did on the other side, but that's all right. I think I'll set it to the same distance this one is right here, so that we have the same amount of adjustment on both sides. That's what I'll do. This thing more revolution. Right. That should get us close. And there you have it. That one's done. Nice and tight, ready to go. As you can see, it's the same ball joint as that. Just this one here. This one wasn't too bad. I mean, it's worn. It shouldn't move that easy. But this one, that one there was clunking pretty good. Alright, now what we got to do is pop these out. And that's pretty much what it is. You can see how worn out it is. And the bottom one, just push it out, I guess. Same deal. I'm not really sure what's in the middle there. Spacer. Alright. Pop that seal out of there, I guess. Okay. There we go. And we can probably pull that out. Spacer. It's kind of like a ball, which is weird. If you guys can see that. Get that out of the way. Very weird. Alright, I got the clip out, as you can see. Don't know if it's going to move. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to press it out with the vise. If not, I'll have to use heat. Hopefully I get it to move with this thing. Let's see. So, you know what? Let me get a smaller socket. She's moving, and she popped. Good. Alright, so that's what's inside of there. As you can see. And it looks like that other ring is still on there, the other snap ring. But this is, you feel the play in it, and that's what we're getting rid of. Take a look in there. And that other snap ring is still in there. We try to get that out. Boy, she's pretty rusty. She's moving. Alright, we got it. There it is. That's the other one. And you can see there. That shouldn't look too bad. So let's get the bushing kit. So the way this kit works is you have a spacer in the middle, and you have the two bushings, and it replaces this ball joint. And this is basically what's inside of your ball joint. So the bushings go in here like this, push them in, that goes in the middle, bada bing, bada boom. So I'm going to tap these in. Alright, that one's seated. I'm going to do the same on the other side. That one went in pretty easy, and then this goes in the middle, and that replaces the factory A arm fitting. Now I'm going to grease this though. That's what I'm going to do. I'm really going to grease this up pretty good, so that when we put it together, there's some lubrication in there and we don't wear out the bushings. So that's one done, and I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Alright, so I put the bushings in, as you can see. They just push in. You don't need any special tools or anything. You just push in, and we're going to start assembling. So I'm going to put a little bit of grease, just a little bit of this grease here, inside each one of these, just so the bushings have lubrication. Put the slides in now. I'm just going to rotate them as I push them in, just to get some of that grease around. All right. Now this one. Let's start putting together. Going to snug these up for now. Well, I have the room with the steering arm back in. As you can see, this is the new one. Well, not the arm itself is the original. And we want the slotted ends to be on the outside so that we can put a wrench on it and adjust the toe. I'm just going to snug it for now. I'm not going to over tighten it. Once I get everything assembled, I'll torque everything down and put this back on for now. And just hang out of the way. This one here took a dent from hammering it off, so I got Newcastle nuts with the new ball joints, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this one. This one here is not dented. Make sure it doesn't bind up at all. Alright, and we'll just snug that up as well. So this is the new upper ball joint I got. And as you can see, it's a heck of a lot beefier than the other one, the ones that were on there. And let's just check it for fit here. It seems like it's going to fit fine. Yeah, fits right in there nice. So what I got to do now is just to give you guys an idea. Turn the camera that way a little. I'm going to need to take this ball joint off and put this one in. So I'm thinking if I cut the ball joint right here, this tube will be hollow all the way through, and then I can put this in. And it's pretty similar to what the aftermarket A-arms are like. And I can put that in there, and that'll have adjustable camber as well. So that's going to be the plan. So I'm not going to put this on. This ball joint here seems like it's okay. This one, on the other hand, is another story. As you can see, this one is just completely gone. I mean, if I was to continue to ride on that, it would probably separate, and then I'd be in a world of hurt out in the middle of the woods, trying to figure out how I was going to get my quad back. So I'm going to cut this off, and this is going to be one of the ones that I'm going to try this one first, because if it doesn't work out, no harm, no foul, because this is no good anyway. So that's going to be the plan. Alright, so I got it set up in the vise. I'm going to cut it off right here. Not going to show you that. Ball joint's off. Cut it off. I ended up using my cutoff wheel. It's actually a little bit harder than I thought it would be. It's not actually soft steel. So I cut it off, as you can see right there. As you can see, there's a hole. There's a hole all the way through it. So I'm going to clean this all up right now and try to square this end up with a file. I took my Dremel with the stone on it. I ran it around inside the hole. Flashlight on that. I ran it around inside the hole. You guys can see. And what that essentially did was allowed my, let's see, I'm blocking you. Allowed the bushing to go inside, and it's still relatively tight, both sides. You can see the hole cleaned up. So I have 4 bushings. All right, I'm not going to force it in yet because think I have to cut them down. Alright, so I'm going to put these bushings in there like that. And as I can see here, one of these bushings is going to have to get cut down because they're both too long. They won't seat against the shoulder here, and that's what I want. I want them to seat against the shoulder. Because they are soft, I don't want them extending out like that. So the ball joint itself is going to go inside of here. It's a little bit tight. I'll run the Dremel around the inside of this as well till this slides all the way in. This is 16 millimeter. The inside of the brass bushing or bronze bushing is also 16 millimeter, but because they're threads, they're not precise. So I'm going to, rather than take the thread diameter down, I'm going to enlarge that hole a little bit with the Dremel. It's bronze, it'll come out quick. The reason why I'm using these bronze bushings is because the hole inside the A-arm is too big for this, and it would slop around and it wouldn't be tight. So with this, it's going to be super tight and solid. And this is a heavier ball joint than the ones from the factory, which I'll show you. You can see the difference. It's a much heavier ball joint, so it should last longer. It should take more abuse. And again, that one there is just a floppy biscuit. So that's the plan. I'm going to go and I'm going to cut one of these bushings down. I'm going to measure this with a pair of verniers. Cut one of the bushings down. So let me show you what I got here. So that's basically what it looks like. See both sides. Vise. And what I did was I took the steel grinding wheel and I ground inside here to get the bushings to fit. Then I switched over to this carbide bit. I ran the carbide bit inside the bronze bushing until it was opened up enough that I could get the ball joint in. And as you can see, it's a pretty good fit. Pretty good fit. So, and the nut goes on the back. And it's a jam nut, so it's not going to come off. And then that goes on the front. And what it'll do is it'll sandwich in here. But what this is going to give me is, it's going to give me adjustable camber. So I'll be able to basically adjust the wheels this way, which on a factory A-arm you can't do it. Yeah, pretty cool setup. So what I'll do is I'll cut you off here. I'm going to go do a little assembly. I'm going to put this A-arm on the bike. Alright guys, it's all back together. As you can see, the new steering, tie rod ends in. You can see down the back there. Over here, that's the new ball joint I put in. Steering arms over here as well. And I will tell you that when I move the handlebars back and forth, there is no play, and it actually has a little resistance. Like, it doesn't move easy. It almost feels like you're trying to push grease through a tube. Really, really tight now. Really, really nice. I can't wait to ride it. New ball joint. One thing I will tell you though is I didn't do this ball joint on this side. This ball joint right here is still good. It's not worn out. I don't know if you can see it, but the ball joint, it's straight here and then it kind of goes up a little bit. This ball joint over here is straight. Doesn't have that upward curve. Not sure if that's going to affect suspension travel or anything. So I didn't swap that one out. I didn't do that one yet. Excuse me. When that ball joint wears out, I can just go ahead and do it. It's pretty simple. To get that top A-arm off, I don't really have to take much apart other than the ball joint and 2 bolts. So I'll probably do that later if I need to. Everything back up. I'm going to put the crash bar back on the front. I'm going to put the A-arm protectors back on. The wheels on. I'm going to drop it on the ground. I'm going to do all the steering adjustment, that camber adjustment, and I'm that's it. This one's done. All right, it's all back together. I got the front end aligned. I got the toe on that tire all set, as you can see there. It kind of looks a lot like an aftermarket extended AM, because that's pretty much how the ball joints are on those. Again, I told you I put this one back in. The ball joint was still good, so I'm going to try it like that, see how it goes. I can always do it later. I got the parts, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, it's all set. Can't wait to take this thing for a rip. But again, it's winter time here. It's shitty outside, so. And that's it for this. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, hit the bell notification, all that kind of stuff. Leave a comment. If you guys want to know any parts I use, any tools I use, just leave a comment. I'll be happy to give you guys that information. And for any of you that are wondering what's next on the agenda, this is this guy right here. And I'm not going to get into it too much, but it is a 2004 Raptor 350. That's next on the agenda. So we'll just pick that up, non-running. So we're going to go through that, and that's just a quick sneak peek of what's going on next. I'll see you guys in the next one.